Happy to be here and host. This room embodies, I think, what you're about to see. Even though there's a ton of music and the tools and the technology allow us to do a bunch of things, there's not necessarily a lot of artistry. There's a lot of music. You are going to see an artist tonight that represents this room. I see Candace Stewart, amazing person. That's why Paul McCartney calls her directly at East West. Paula Salvador, an absolute legend in the game. Val Garay has touched us in ways, and if I'm missing anybody, I apologize. Pensado's Place, for those who know or don't know, we're in our 14th year, 602 episodes, 200 countries. And I would just give a quick announcement to be prepared for probably in November, a new show called The Parlor. It's gonna be the shit, I'm just telling you. So it's gonna be my show. Anyways, when I was called to do this, I was absolutely blown away at the information they sent me. People who know me know that, and I say this respectfully, so don't Me Too movement me, but I am a talent hoe. I'm an absolute talent hoe. So real talent makes me nuts. And I kept playing this and playing this and playing this. And I got the call to host this thing. So we're going to you're going to see a performance, and we're going to do an interview with some very critical people. The Diamonds Project absolutely should win Grammys. I'm here to tell you that. It's absolutely incredible, and it embodies an artist that you're about to meet right now. Please put your hands together for Micah McLaurin.
Thank you. So that was Chopin's first ballade, if any of you know it. It's not on my album, but I decided to open with Chopin because I don't think that I would be doing music were it not for Chopin. And his music really changed my life and touched me. So I think that I really owe him so much. So I wanted to open with Chopin. This next one is Shallow by Lady Gaga. Thank you. The next one is a piano version of my disco pop song, Don't Give Up on Love.
Incredible Micah McLaurin. Don't go any place. There's still 2 more songs, but we're going to introduce you to people who know how to produce this kind of talent. Nick Patrick, you around someplace? Chris Walden, come on up. Okay, I have one of these purple jumpsuits. I didn't know he was going to wear his. I would have worn mine, but Micah, you are so talented. You sit right here, and no, I'll sit there and you sit here. What is fascinating about Micah that he has co-signed for me is that I think he lives his art. But I think that there's so much nuance in what he does that the ability to capture it and let him be all that he is. I mean, there are times in one song he's doing it as a keyboard virtuoso, and then there's times it's phrasing like a vocalist, right? And so you guys had to figure out how to get all of that and let him be who he is and keep the emotion. Is that correct?
That is right. I mean, I think it's what's interesting and fascinating about Micah is that when you go through that musical development process at Curtis, Juilliard, it's quite a stringent process. Mm-hmm. And what Mike has done, which is unique, is he hasn't let that define him and keep him in his lane. He's broken out of that and used that as the foundation of his musicality. And it's given something unique in the way he plays. I hope you don't mind me talking about it if you're not here. You're loving it. But Mike he has a unique touch, and I think we heard that, and it's a beautiful thing to be around.
In arranging this stuff, because it's my sense, and you tell me, I don't get the sense that Micah lets anybody mess with his music. I think you're very particular about, is that fair?
I think you're right.
Okay, good. And so, 1, to be chosen is another thing, and then 2, to pull off a project with this kind of magnitude that ranges from his original stuff to covers that are reinterpreted, must have been a crazy interesting thing to have to put your hands around.
Yes. In this particular case, when writing for Micah orchestral arrangements, his piano part, Micah basically already crafted himself. So my job as an orchestral arranger was to create the bed that surrounds his piano performance and kind of staying out of the way of his performance and kind of supporting it with orchestral colors as best as I could. Mm-hmm. But I did not change a note of what Micah was playing. That's all him. So, and I kind of surrounded it.
But that's what comes through is just somebody who would observe it, is that between the 3 of you, they found a way for you to be all you needed to be and not have to compromise who you are, but yet put some structure and stuff to it that brought it forth. I'm curious, 1, if that's the case, and 2, when you come to record, have you already thought it out, or are you just sitting down doing it once you get there?
You mean like have I arranged it already, or am I improvising?
Yeah, and is there improvisation when you're recording periodically?
I allow for improvisation because I'm always open to what you can do that's more magical. And I started doing arrangements because I didn't want to be tied down to the score, how they are in classical music. So I started doing arrangements to find that sense of freedom. So there is a little bit of improv in some of the recordings, but for the most part, they were pre-worked out, and I was exactly sure of what I was doing in every note. Mm-hmm. But only then would I decide to change something on the spot.
And I think that even in that, as you prepare, even if you don't do it on the spot, you're doing it beforehand so that you can come and let yourself be free when you're doing it, because you know what your own guidelines are, because you've created your own guidelines.
Yeah, you have to have the foundation, and you have to have like a base, and then you can go off and be adventurous. Yeah. But without the foundation, you don't really have like the direction of where to go.
Yeah, you're just meandering around. I think that if there are artists in the room or you represent artists or work with artists, this is permission structure to be artistic. Like, you don't have to deal with the confines of what the business tells you to do and so forth. Go rock some shit, literally. Go, right? Is that correct? Go rock some shit. It is a privilege to be a steward of pop culture. Why would you waste that opportunity? You should do something special with it, which is why I have so much respect for what you guys have done. How long was the recording process? How long did it take?
Well, one thing if I can just go back on Micah's process.
Absolutely.
It's a kind of circular process where Micah would do a guide piano part, which was essentially his arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
Chris would then arrange to that. But then when we recorded Micah's master piano part, he would do that without the orchestral arrangement. And that way, when we recorded the orchestra, if the dynamics, any kind of nuances in Micah's performance that weren't in the demo, we would just adjust the dynamics in the orchestration when we were recording it. So it really was tailor-made, like a tailor-made suit that just hung and lit beautifully.
At one point in time, Micah was accompanying himself. Was it in Diamonds?
On Diamonds, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
that was actually the only instance where we kind of.
Are people allowed to know that?
Well, you tell me, Micah. No, but in all the other songs, Micah had really worked out a piano arrangement that I got to work with. But in the case of Diamonds, Our Girl Best Friend, we kind of played back and forth because there we had to really construct something that has been a vocal song that has been sung by Marilyn Monroe. How do we make that work for piano, but still include some of the iconic piano accompaniment phrases that we all associate with it? And I think we came up with a good solution, and that took some kind of back and forth until we had that figured out. Micah, if you want to explore.
Yeah, so for Diamonds, I really loved Marilyn Monroe's version and the piano that was on that version already. So I wanted to keep that, but I don't sound like Marilyn, so I wasn't going to sing it. So I played the melody on the piano with like jazz chords and harmonies, and I did it on 2 pianos with myself. So it sounds like a really thick, virtuosic piano solo, but it's actually me playing 2 pianos, which was fun to play 2 pianos with yourself.
And he says it like it's normal. Like, hey, man, just no problem. The through line that for me is new to it, but enjoying it, is somehow you find a way to keep the emotion of who you are and what you want to do with your music always kind of present. And that doesn't get away. When I listened to Can't Help Falling in Love, I heard the 9-year-olds who played it for the first time. And then somehow I heard the mature person doing it that way. The innocence was still there. Is that a purposeful thought?
The innocence and the
Yeah, just there's an emotion to it that comes through, but yet you still get to be artistic in that.
Well, Can't Help Falling in Love was the first song that I performed, and on that track, at the end of it, I play the song as I played it when I was 9 years old. But I wanted to bring it back to the present day with what I know about music now. And that's why I did this version, to show an evolution while also going back to where it all started.
Yeah.
And it's extremely simple and it sounds very easy, but that was intentional because I wanted to show how music for me, especially slow music, I feel it comes directly from the heart, and I don't feel that it needs so many embellishments or technical gymnastics to really show emotion and to convey something. I think that it just really comes from the heart, and it can be the most simple thing, but you have to make people feel that.
From you guys' perspective, certainly I've always, even on our show, when we have all these great people on, what everybody's striving for is how to be simple. People don't know that how complicated it is to be simple, to be honest. And that's the stuff that touches us as people who love music, is when it's simple. You know, when you think about the Beatles, how do you make Hey Jude? What? And then all of a sudden, you know, you're touched in such a... So kudos to you guys for understanding that that was important to him, and then him trusting you guys to do that, and it coming around, because that was kind of the goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the really interesting things when you listen to Micah play, you know how he's feeling that day because it's his voice, and that's the clearest indication about the emotional impact his playing is having on himself,
Right.
and how he expresses himself.
So if he's pissed off and he hits with his left hand down, do you just leave the studio and say, Micah's
Hey,
having
whoa.
a bad day?
Yeah, we'll just leave you for a while.
Yeah, we're
But
good.
it's usually, you know, incredibly sensitive and a magical touch.
And to all of your credit, that's what it feels like to listen to it. It's like, oh, wait, I need sort of a special space to listen to this. Like, I don't need to be jamming in a car with 19 people smoking weed. Like, or sorry, you didn't hear that. That's it's legal in LA, but that's another thing. But the idea of let me get alone with this music and let me allow it to touch me. And you listen once and then you realize you need to go back and get another bite. And you're like, oh, wait, this is now taking me to other places, which was exactly my experience when you guys reached out. And I was like, I got to know it. And then I was just listening and watching, and just kudos to artistry. I think that we could continue to bore the audience, but I think they may want to hear 2 more songs from this art. What do you think, guys? Some more songs? So without further ado, the one, the only, Micah McLaurin. There you go, sir.
Do you want to stay here?
It's Moon River.
All right. Yeah. All right.
The project is diamonds. Except for a Grammy, you'll be able to get to see this in this will be on Pensado's Place in 72 hours. Incredible work, you guys. He's Michael McLaurin. And now we fellowship and we get to hang out. So enjoy yourselves. We'll be out there in a second. Party time. Let's go.